Right, no joy. Time for death. I'm not joking. I've called this segment "You Should Fear the NHS." Now, I don't like to be hyperbolic. I don't like to use the word fear or spread such things. It's wrong to do so when there's no threat. But I looked into this story, and this is here: NHS nurses being investigated for industrial scale qualifications fraud. And I thought, okay, it turns out there's a few hundred bad apples who have lied on their applications. It'll be sorted out. And the more I started looking, I realized, oh crap, man! Like there is an actual threat to life on a large scale within the NHS as a result of what we're about to see, which is the extension of all this.
Can I note the nation that The Guardian has in their subheading here? Scam involves more than 700 healthcare workers who use proxies to pass tests in Nigeria, enabling to work in the UK. I mean, Nigeria is famous for being the 419 nation, which means like they run scam operations. So are we really shocked that there's fraud if you import lots of Nigerians?
I mean, you would have thought it'd be something you'd look out for.
Yeah.
I mean, on considerations, but apparently not. So that's that, right? And I've got The Guardian here, right? Okay, leftist out there who wouldn't want to comment on the fact that obviously, mass migration leads to things like this, which is the problems of those countries, fraud in this case being a massive one. So there's that, right? And you may have seen it. But remember to keep in mind, like, since Brexit actually happened in 2019, non-EU migration went through the roof. And a lot of that is on healthcare worker bases. Of course, no one asked for that, but what it is. The UK government has some statements to say on this. So this is them making, one of their stupid posts. They're like, here's net migration. They say in here, those coming for the health and social care visa routes will be exempt from the £38,000 salary threshold applied to skilled workers. They get an exemption for some reason. That part of life.
The one thing that Tories turned around and said, see, we're doing something, guys.
Yeah.
But unless you're going into this route.
Well, they gave out about 70,000 healthcare visas last year, and it only filled about 11,000 vacant places. So what the hell are those 60-odd thousand other people doing?
Maths
Just milling
is very
about?
hard. How does that work?
Well, being a doctor doesn't pay very well, so why would you do that? I don't. I mean,
brother makes a good point.
It's just they say in here that it's to fill the NHS that we desperately need and love, and I'm just like, okay. I know it's kind of boring to be like the NHS is clearly religion, but who talks like that?
We're losing 10,000 of our own doctors every year. Like we train 10,000 people and they go off to Australia because it's better pay.
If we just paid them better, gave them some better conditions.
But we need Infinity Foreigners, I forget. I'm sorry for interrupting.
So here's something I found, all right? Drudka, our Lord and Savior.
Favorite Twitter account.
He did this, and it's a thread of Africans tweeting about fraudulently completing their family's medical degrees.
It just broadcast.
Yeah! I
say it on main.
I love social media. It's amazing. You can see here, the Zimbabwe lady. So this is all about this tweet here. This African lady, she says, I didn't realize African kids were actually out here doing their parents' university work. No wonder so many nurses seem mad. They're not qualified.
Kiss my teeth, which is a sort of black slang thing.
London thing. Huh?
But it's unanimous.
So as you can see, this lady responds, I could tell you all about septic shock, just sharing. Okay, Zimbabwe there. This one, nah, I remember my auntie made me do this when I was 12. Sis said she wouldn't drop me home until I finished her work. My name needs to go on that certificate.
Why are you laughing about this? I just...
Yeah, it
drives me mental. Right? Like...
Sorry for the interruption. I'm Father Calvin Robinson, and you can watch my Common Sense Crusade at 3 p.m. on Thursdays only on lotuseaters.com, where you can sign up for as little as £5 per month. Deus Vult.
Honey over here from Black Alchemy says, this is true, lol. This is why I don't care. I make it clear I don't want to be treated by them in hospital. Laughing face. These are the nurses you call when you're in pain, but you see them having a little jokey joke with colleagues who also aren't qualified. So that's Honey there.
This explains some of my recent experience.
I knew you were
in certain hospitals. Yeah, because I've mentioned before.
I thought, okay, that might... Yeah, I mean, there's another guy here saying, of the 5 degrees in my family, I'm responsible for 4 out of 5. Okay, that's four lads. Well, you can only put...
How long does this thread go on for?
Quite a bit. It's like, okay, I just want to read more of them because it's astounding. Like you say, Connor, they're just laughing about it. This is funny to them. We've all been there, says this chap. Next one. Lamau. If I speak man.
They're genuinely taking us for mug. My blood is steam. I won't interrupt.
Ada here. This isn't new, to be honest. They just want SFE without putting in the work. Otherwise. I think a lot of people do this. Someone I know could barely speak English, but got a merit in his written assessments and his bar course. So that's a lawyer. That's a lawyer in the system. Fantastic. I'm sorry, I can see you by the corner of my eye. People in the quote tweets are bare surprised, laughing faces from this Free Palestine person. When you spend time in a hospital, you'll see the frauds left, right, and center.
Anybody who's gone into UK A&E recently, yeah, you really can.
Deport and imprison every last one of these people.
Yes.
Every last one.
And their families, because they're the ones who are working in the system. We need to talk about this. There's so much nuance in this. The specific demographic that applies to this, really, really nat. Okay. Normally you get the worst care, professionalism from that group. That's all making sense.
I love the way that these black Twitter users going, yeah, if I go to the hospital, I'm saying, no, black nurse, no way. Ooh,
But if I notice it, Rishi Sunak gets on the doorstep of Downing Street and says diversity is our strength and smiles like a mug with his bloody 50p coin.
Well, that's the thing. These people are actively taking us for mugs. Like you say, they're laughing about the fact that we're such suckers. And you know what? Yeah, they're being right.
CJ here. My mum used to hand in written assessments and make me type them. The arguments we had over word count, lamau. Okay. One woman wanted to pay me to write her essays for her, crying face, for a class she's failed twice. Auntie, this is not your calling. Right? Yep. That's.
I wonder why life expectancy is dropping. I wonder why the mortality among black infants is rising. There's no connection there whatsoever, I'm sure.
I love this one. You need to delete this tweet. EDL flag Twitter has started collecting the quote tweets. It's like, that's not the problem. The problem is the fraud. Mm-hmm. I know this might be an ethnic difference. That in this ethnicity, it is wrong to commit fraud. It is evil. It causes to needless death when we're talking about medicine. But no, okay, the problem is...
Yeah, but they don't.
Just
genuinely, they don't mind. It's not just noticing; it's they don't mind. They have the power to exempt themselves from it because they can say, "I don't want to be treated by a black nurse because I'm black." So that means they aren't racist. So the only people that are dying from this are white people. White people who don't know better. White people who trust in their system.
Well, that's the thing. It's a form of ethnic in-group preference that they're not going to get treated by these people, but they're not going to say no if white people are being treated by them.
There's a commie here who said I had to do that when I was 12. Thanks, commie. Someone said their mums put pressure on them, like, are you done yet? It's due on Thursday. And it goes on and on and on.
These are the people that are going to be administrating assisted dying when that gets brought in under the Labour government, by the way. Just so you know.
Oh my God, this person retweeted Steve Laws. And once again, it's not this is a lie. It's like, God, and why does he know now? The evil racist knows that we're frauds now.
This is why African parents grew up telling you not to tell your business, says this person from the Congo.
Now you've riled up the racists. Well, this is one of those...
I don't want to die.
Is Steve Laws racist because he's just an evil bigot for no reason, or because he's noticed that all of you are laughing about the fact you're illegally here?
And illegally in positions where you will kill us. I don't have the money to always go to a private hospital. That's not a thing. Most people don't go to private hospitals.
And look, Steve's even just pointing out what they're saying.
Yeah.
Here is exactly what all of these people are saying.
Look,
put plainly.
All of my grandparents are really unwell. So they have constant interactions with the NHS, and every time their treatment is shit. Sorry, I don't want to sweat. Like, if these are the people they're encountering, if you could end up killing my grandparents because of your gross negligence, I will never forgive any of you.
Goes on and on and on. Again, the Jesus Christ! Don't read that one out loud. They're allowed to say it, and we're not because this is a free country. And as you can see, it's just again massive amounts of Africans, many of them socialists, responding, "Shut up! Don't tell the whiteys. They'll figure out." Okay, and at the same time, if you've got this, you've got the mainstream media here, the Guardian, who wouldn't want to talk about this, even admitting there's well over 700 just from Nigeria alone, and they're now investigating how bad it is. So this has been going on for a while, and now it's just got so bad. This is funny. This is just a series of videos of a bunch of black people just being like, "You were doing that? Really?" Oh, they're talking about the backlash they get. So the backlash is from people in their comments telling them that they either were doing it, this person here, I was doing my mum's uni work from year 10 till year 13. So that's high school for her. Last year of college, she still beats me. I'm 22. Okay. Literally did my mum's whole degree and now I'm doing it for myself, says that person. I did my mum's uni work. I made her pay me though. All right. I was doing my auntie's university assignments in year 12, but managed to fail all my A-levels. That's pretty weird. Yeah. And the last video here is just people being like, why are you telling us to shut up? Like, this is ridiculous. So, I mean, there are some black people who are just like, that's mad. Maybe this is wrong.
That have a soul. Yeah.
Yeah. And the last thing here, I'm just going to mention, because, of course, I mean, what does that malpractice actually look like in real life? Because it's one thing to see this and be like, right, so that the healthcare system is just full of fraud. You know, I wasn't going to tell this story, but I will. University. Okay. Universities are frauds. The normal universities, a lot of it's fraud at this point. I'm not just saying cheating, I mean fraud. Because if you take a subject that can be yes or no right answers, guess what? The year above gives the year below the answers, and it just gets passed down through the years. The vast majority of people I saw at university were cheating. And once I found out that was the case, I decided, no, I'm just not going to do it. I'm just not interested. And this culminated in a really weird instance where we had to learn Fortran, which is an ancient coding language. The last, I think, cohort in the entire country to learn Fortran. And so I'm sitting there, and everyone else has got the cheats. I know everyone's got the cheats, and I'm just like, no, I'm not going to do it. I sucked at it. Absolutely crap. And I'm sat there. I'm the last one in the class. Everyone else has left. Their computers are done long ago. I'm sat there typing away, and it's just crap. It doesn't work. I don't know how Fortran works. So the teacher comes over and types in the bloody answers for me. He's like, oh, no, you've just got this wrong, but does the whole thing. And then looks at me and says, yeah, so if you submit that, we'll be done. I looked at him and went, no, I'm not putting that in. You've done that. And then he got really embarrassed and realized like his career could be over. So thankfully, he decided he would talk to me and just be frank. It was a really weird discussion where obviously I've got dirt on him now. So I could ask him and he gave me honest answers, which is that the entire faculty know that everyone's cheating as well. That's how universities work.
Jesus.
And then you've got the foreign world in which people are just taking their mother's...
They're high-fiving each other over it.
The competency crisis in this globe at this point is off a cliff. And seeing this is mad.
I mean, honestly, the honest Anglo is a dying breed and is not really mentally suited for this kind of large-scale corruption. Like you experiencing that must have been a complete mind death for you.
Just a WhatsApp chat in which you get showed, and then even the teacher came up and was like, I'll just do your work. I'm like, no, if I don't know how to use Fortran, why would I go and get a job in the Nuclear Weapons Institute?
I mean, one of the whole things that made British society great was the fact that there was a certain level of fair play and adherence to the rules that we stuck to, which created a very stable society. When that breaks down to the point where the university system as a whole is a complete fraud, your society is going to go down the toilet along with it.
And then throw this on top, right? Okay, we're talking about medicine here. Really matters. It's not just some stupid old computer language. Really matters. Let's get this on screen. This is the consequences of this. So this is Will, nice guy. So he's put together some details here. So you can go to this link if you want to find the full story of all the malpractices. Here's a fella here, Dr. Isakaya Ma'ama. Give up. 85 years old. He was suspended once for lying about his age, but then rehired by Royal Oldham Hospital, where he killed a woman by using the wrong needle, missed her bone, and pierced a vessel which caused severe internal bleeding. So that's a death. Manslaughter. Manslaughter was a result of this level of fraud and incompetence. In case you're wondering, because of course we live in ethnic enclaves in this country, Dr. Isakaya Mayama, he killed a lady called Shadaya Paveen, an Iranian woman. So there's that as well, just to keep in mind. Go forward. Dr. Mushabba Muhammad, he grabbed a nurse by the throat and carried out deplorable sexual harassment. During a frightened ordeal, Dr. Muhammad cornered a nurse and blocked her from getting to a female staff changing room. Average behavior there. Goes on. There's Dr. Abi Greek, this fella here. He received payments to help minicab and Uber drivers fake medical tests over their fitness to drive. So not just endangering the medical world, endangering people who get in taxis. The way this was done is an undercover reporter went to doctor, as you can see here with these pictures, secretly recorded him saying to the doctor that he has trouble with his eyesight. He literally can't see properly and therefore would rightfully fail the medical test. And the doctor says to him, they won't give you any problems with that as long as you pay me £50. Got paid. That's the end of it. Right. And then the rest of them here, these I don't have time for, but they're all drugs. They're just people taking drugs and doing dumb BS whilst on drugs, right? Except this Chinese lady who stole a bunch of needles for weird reasons. So that's that. And these are older cases. That's the thing. So this new level of cohort of fraud is since 2019 odd. So it's just a few years, just a handful of years. The damage this is going to do, the number of deaths, the number of just, well, permanent damage or even short-term damage that was unnecessary. I really dread to think. I'm sorry, but seeing this is just awful on every level. And I'll end this off with one more thing, which is John found just before we started. The NHS is now also doing this for dentistry. So because we can't fill the dentist roles, because we won't fund English kids getting dentist appointments, I think it's limited to 3,000 to get funded every year. It's been limited since the 2000s for some reason. Just don't want English kids becoming dentists. So because of the government-created shortage of dentists, they're now dropping the exam for people who apply from the foreign world. Because, I mean, British teeth are great, so why make them... Yeah, okay. I'll end this off with one last thing, which is just, okay, this country does this. This is mad. What's the consequence? The service is bad. So if you go to Belarus, so this is the president of the Republic of Belarus. I mean, for most mainstream media, a joke country, right? They actually advertise on their tourism board, if you want to go and get a tourist visa, come and do medical tourism with us, pay us 20 quid and we'll do the service, and it's to a high quality because, you know, our professionals are the best in our country because we're a poor nation, so the best are at the top there. And
Same with Mexico and like experimental stem cell treatment.
exactly. The former leader of UKIP that I knew, he used to go to Hungary to get his dentistry.
Oh, really?
And it's because of crap like this. It's just like, well, my motherland is literally destroying the quality. So, yeah, no, if you want the service and even done cheaper, you can go and get it elsewhere. And that might actually just be good advice to how to deal with this because, oh, God. If you appreciated that episode from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to get access to all the premium content that's on the site, such as the Lads Hours, this one on whether or not cats or dogs are left or right wing. If you'd like to find out what else is being put out, you can follow on Twitter at lotuseaters_com on Twitter. Thank you and goodbye.